And we're live. Welcome to episode number 9 of Cody's Business Show. I'm here with Danny. How do you say your handle? How do you pronounce that?
So it's called El Chile.
ElCheleSells. Okay.
ElCheleSells, yep.
What does that mean? I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I have no idea. What is that?
Yeah, so my family's from Central America,
Okay.
and for lighter complexion people, they call them Chile.
Okay.
So my parents growing up always called me El Chile.
Nice.
Yeah,
They
so
call me Gringo. That's what I get.
makes sense.
Yeah. What country in Central America?
El Salvador. Yep.
El Salvador. Get out of here. Okay.
Yeah.
Small
You ever been
world.
there?
No, I haven't, but one day I'd like to. So,
It's beautiful. It's awesome.
yeah, I see the guitar in the background. Do you play?
Uh, I used to a lot.
Okay.
My parents were pastors of a church for a while, so I got voluntold, guitar,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
type of thing, and I learned a while back. Haven't played it in a while. Just play it with my son now every once in a while when he wants to. But
Yeah,
yeah.
sure. That's awesome. I have a really nice guitar, and similar situation. I helped with a church plant,
Okay,
and they bought me a guitar, and it was awesome. And then
nice.
um, I played bass at the time, and I knew a little bit of guitar, and then I got pretty good, and then I just haven't gotten. I probably haven't picked it up and played more than once or twice in a couple years. So
Yeah, so this guitar's got a little bit of a story. I think I was like 18 or 19, so 11, 12 years ago.
okay,
Me and my dad went to Guitar Center, and before that, I was actually rocking a Yamaha,
okay,
just starting off.
sure,
And my dad told me, he says, "Man, if you can play this one really good, then we'll upgrade you.
you
Because
could
the
do it
Yamaha is like $200 or something like that."
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so we went to Guitar Center. It was like around my birthday, and we saw this one, and we left without it actually. And I didn't know this, but secretly he had taken a picture of it and told my brother to pass by and grab it.
Nice.
So then later on, I got it, and it was like a birthday thing, and so yeah.
Is that a Martin? It looks like a Martin.
It looks like a Martin, but it's a Takamine.
Takamine. Okay, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
was that. I had one of those. Yeah,
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 I love it.
sweet. Well, nobody cares about our guitar playing
Yeah,
skills. Let's talk about selling on Amazon and
yeah,
entrepreneurship and stuff. So,
sure.
where all do you sell? What's your lineup right now? I know you do some numbers, and I know you're friends with KV Flips, and
Yep.
you're in my backyard, right? You're not too far from.
Yeah, so I'm in northeast Atlanta.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's an hour drive for me.
We're close,
So
yeah.
yeah. So tell me about your business.
So it's kind of a crazy story. A good one, right? Um, so I only sell on Amazon. That's
Okay.
really strictly what I do. And I so happened to just really stumble upon it just really by luck. Um, so I'll go back maybe 8 years ago. My dad had actually approached me and had already purchased a course for private label.
Oh, nice.
Back when private label was a thing and people were selling these crazy courses. And he said, "Hey, I bought this course. We should do it. We should look into it." And to me, private label was like really scary, obviously for all the obvious reasons.
Sure.
Um, and so I didn't really pay attention to it. And at that point in my life, I was kind of really busy. I was in college. I was getting married.
Sure.
All of those things. So I didn't really pay attention to it. And it wasn't until 2021, maybe spring, um, me and my wife at the time were building a house and we were living with our in-laws. So I had a lot of time on my hands that night. And one day I was just strolling through TikTok and I saw this guy in Marshalls. I'm not going to drop his name. A lot of people don't like him. I love the guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he was in Marshalls. He was like, "Look at this, here I am. I'm gonna make $20 profit, blah blah blah." And then he just like name dropped like Amazon FBA, and then like that connection made back to what my dad had told me, 5 years, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, I thought Amazon was just like people who are creating their own brands that can sell on there. Little did
Mhm.
I know that third party people like you and I can sell name brand stuff.
Yep.
That really caught my attention. And then um really I just started like binge watching YouTube videos. And
Nice.
just
YouTube University.
yeah, exactly. Just started really like seeing what was out there. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, like I think I this idea and I'm gonna set up an account and let's just see what happens. And so in 21, while we were building our house, obviously I didn't want to dump any crazy money into it because I didn't want to affect any of the plans.
Sure.
Um, so I just did like a little proof of concept. And I was like, let me see if I can buy some stuff and resell
See
it.
what happens. Yeah, yeah,
What happens? And I literally went to TJ Maxx and bought just a few things. And literally at that time, I was just scanning stuff with the seller app. That was like the best way that I could.
yeah. Yep.
Um, and I just noticed things like that they were going to be profitable. And I was like, wait a minute, like we're onto something here.
Yeah.
So I literally got a hold of this guy's course for free somehow, like on his Instagram live, and he like showed step by step on how to like create the shipments and all that stuff because that
Oh,
was
that's cool as heck. Yeah.
like logistical for me. Um, and sure enough, I sent that stuff in that I had bought to TJ Maxx, and I remember the day that I got my first sale. Obviously, probably everybody remembers that where they were.
Yeah.
I was driving. I don't even remember where I was driving, but I literally just hit the refresh and it was like 2 orders came through. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, 5 orders. I'm like, okay, this is something. So I told my wife, I said, okay, like we know things are selling, and if we can get our hands on the right things, then they're obviously going to sell. Um, you still there? I can't see you.
No. I can see now. Up. Maybe his connection was unstable. All right. We're showing live. All right. Well, let's let him back in here. I think I heard everything you said.
Okay.
So you got 5 sales, and then you got a proof of concept.
Yeah. So I got proof of concept. And I told my wife, I said, okay, like this is something viable, that we can do. Um, and the cool thing about it was that she was, supportive from the start. She saw the things. She was skeptical at first, obviously, like kind of what I thought, like you really can't sell stuff as a third party, especially like name brand stuff.
Right.
And then when she saw the stuff come in, when I went to go buy it, when she saw it go out, and then she saw the numbers, she's like, "Oh, okay, like this is serious."
Yeah.
And so then we ended up closing on our house in January of 22, and I just went full force, man. I just dumped in a bunch of money,
That's awesome.
um, and then the rest is history. Really, just hit the ground running.
What categories are you selling in mostly?
So I'm mostly right now, mostly um, a lot of shoes, a lot of like health and beauty,
Okay.
um, apparel, some
Okay.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. The apparel thing I've never gotten into. I I have a Discord, and my VA found some vein, I guess, of a bunch of apparel leads, and so I made a new channel for it, and you know we were into it for like 3 days or something, and then back
Mm.
to kind of normal, like not but I've never seriously sourced apparel. So
Yeah. To be honest with you, the apparel that I do is not like the apparel that you would traditionally think about.
okay.
In the sense that like, for example, like I sell a lot of like beanies, a lot of
Oh,
hats,
okay. Sure.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Um, as well as t-shirts and sorts of stuff like that. And the
Sure.
reason why I say that is because I'm kind of picky in the things that I like to sell.
Okay.
There's like a certain criteria. Um, for example, like the velocity, like that's huge for me.
Sure.
Like how fast things are moving,
Yeah.
because like let's just say if something tanks, because of the amount of sellers, at least I can get rid of it pretty quickly.
Get out of it before.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
that's kind of huge for me. So
that makes sense. Are you doing any FBA or is it mostly merchant?
yeah, so I would say 99% of my stuff is FBA.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, I did dabble into FBM in Q4,
Sure,
um, but I would uh, not do. I would do it again for the money that I made,
sure, yeah,
but I was only in that position because I underestimated what the power. It was my first Q4, so I certainly didn't want to go in too deep on this certain product that I had found,
yeah,
and it was kind of a specific window where Amazon goes out of stock, and I mean, everybody, all the third parties are making, 2 times what Amazon was selling for.
yep,
So I kept replenishing that as Q4 went on. But yeah, most of my stuff is FBA. And the reason why is because I don't do this full time. So I don't have the time to fulfill those orders every day.
sure.
So
Yeah, once you start like building inventory, like there's some stuff that I just wouldn't send to FBA, like stuff that's like long tail or like a lot of like if I'm testing something, a
yeah,
lot of times I'll test to FBM and just see
really.
how it moves, and so that turns into eventually you have like 2 or 3 units of a bunch of bull crap stuff that sits,
Right, right.
until you FBA it. So
Yeah.
uh, I I want to be 100% FBA. Like I've been saying that for years. Probably I've literally been saying that for 3 years now. I know, and I just
Why don't you?
hadn't made it a priority. Some of it's just it's just a pain to add another ace into a shipment when there's like 2 or 3 like bull crap units, and you don't want to liquidate them either. And so it's just kind of like
I think that's like, so my jumping into my business a little bit. I have the advantage a little bit that I do mostly wholesale.
oh, okay, nice. I didn't even
Um,
ask about that.
yeah, so I do mostly wholesale. So, when I'm getting these units, they're 200, 300 units. So they're all going off. If one's going off, they're all going off. So I
Yeah,
might as well
right.
just send
Yeah.
them in.
Wholesale, man, that's crazy. So, I
Yeah.
do 0 wholesale. I've done, um, I mean, like maybe BJ's,
Yeah.
wholesale club or like Costco or something, but like legitimate wholesale, I'm not doing any.
Yeah.
What made you go that direction? You just kind of meet the right person, or what? How'd you get in wholesale?
So me and my dad knew of suppliers
Okay, sure.
um, from just previous business ventures. We had a few of them, probably 2 or 3 of them, and so that was kind of my early like get in the door type of
Mm,
thing.
sure.
Um, the whole online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, one retail arbitrage, I did it in the beginning, just like proof of concept. It was like the easiest way to get my hands on stuff like today.
Yeah,
So that was like a good way to go in. But I knew that if I went down that road, that it would not be sustainable. One, just because of my time.
sure.
I work a full time job, and then I have 2 kids now, so that was obviously tough. You have kids too.
Oh yeah.
Um, that's super tough,
Yeah,
especially having a full time job. So yeah, so we knew some contacts. I knew some contacts, reached out to them, and then just started to try to open those accounts. Um, and it's been going well.
just that easy. You just
Well,
find
it's
the wholesale and then you just order stuff.
well,
It sound it sounds easy, but like in my head, it's been something I haven't gotten into because I'm like, I know I'm
yeah.
gonna have to make a process and like follow up, and then I don't even know how to like scan a
I don't know. I don't know if you've been in the like Twitter world, but like wholesale is like the word right now, like
is it?
on like, all these sellers. Yeah, and
I love
and
how you said that. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, so they're all trying to jump into wholesale, and that's
Yeah,
great. And the only thing that I would say is like these relationships, they're not like submit my order. Let me click here. It's going through. You know,
sure,
did it get canceled or not? No, when you submit it and when that order goes through, it's going to go through. But getting up to that point is very difficult and very hard.
that's the tricky part. Yeah,
Um, I I don't know if on Twitter today there was a video of a guy recording his phone call with a actual distributor. Literally recorded the phone call to like hear the objections and all that stuff.
Oh, nice. That's a good idea.
And the lady said on the phone, she said, "Oh, how's the best way to contact you?" And he said, "Oh, like through phone." She said, "Oh, oh my god, that's amazing. I love that." She said, "A
Cool.
lot of these younger folks, they don't want to talk on the phone."
Sure.
And so like it just like clicked to me. It was like, man, like if you just call them and you talk to Sally Smith, who's sitting behind a desk, and you just
Yeah.
connect with her for 5 seconds, and she puts a voice to the person who's applying, like that goes so far.
Yeah, sure.
Like one of my distributors, like we literally text, "Hey, like, can you give me an update on this? Hey, like, can you give me pricing on this? Hey, what if I buy 500 of this? Like, hey, I'm gonna buy you out of this certain stock." Like,
That sounds so much better than what I'm doing. And like obviously I've been an arbitrage I say an arbitrage monkey for,
yeah,
like 5 years or something like that's like that's my world. But like thinking of like finding a winning product or like some of these guys that are taking the wholesale and then they're bundling into a private label registered brand type thing, but
right,
it's literally it's like you take the spring blend of Starbucks and the fall
right,
blend of Starbucks, and it's just a Starbucks bundle. There's no private label really,
right,
but
right.
you're running it up that way. Like some of those guys are freaking killing it.
They are.
One of them that I know that I've paid him for consulting. He's literally like he sent me a couple of wholesalers and was like, just call him and just set up an account, Cody. Like it's not that hard. And then all he's doing is he's bundling them and launching it as a new listing. And then he does a little bit of is it PPC? Is that what it's called?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, does that little bit on the end, and then he launches the bundle. And his month over month is ridiculous. And he's not like out at Walmart, like like
Right, right, right.
chasing the
One of
the
the cool
hot
things
deal.
about wholesale that I really enjoy and I really like is like, let's just, I'm just gonna give it a general, um, a product. Like, let's say like
Okay,
deodorant.
sure,
The cool thing about deodorant is that when the distributor sends it to you, they send them in cases, right? So let's say there's like a case of 12,
sure,
and you can sell the same deodorant as a pack of one, as a pack of two, pack of three. I've seen them
sure,
a pack of six.
sure.
So like right there, you got six different ASINs that are moving, really quickly. So it's a win-win.
That makes so much sense. We're in the same area, like for real. I'm in your backyard sometimes. How far are you from the Lego stores? You're up in northeast. Let's see, would that be never east? Yeah, you're up. I mean, you're up not too far from the Lego store and like Sugarloaf and those
Yep,
places.
yep. I'm like 15 minutes.
I love going to those Lego stores.
Really?
Yeah, it's that's one of my things.
Me and Kevin have been to. Actually, we didn't go to Sugarloaf. I went sourcing with him one day because I
Okay,
wanted to see kind of his process and what he was doing.
dude's
Uh,
killing it. Yeah,
so we went to Dawsonville and then we went to Woodstock.
Woodstock. Yeah, I like Woodstock too. Yeah, that's
I didn't like Woodstock so much because it's like northwest, so it was
sure.
like I have to go down 75, 285, up 85.
Yeah,
It was a nightmare, but
yeah.
it
Welcome
was,
to
it was worth
Atlanta.
it. It was good to learn.
Yeah, I'll tell you one that is disappointing. If you go to the Calhoun Nike,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think Kevin goes there. I'm not sure. Used to, man, we would go in there and just kill it, like
Really?
because it's just far enough out of the way to where like people don't want to go there, and so
Mm,
like there's a gold mine, and then one day they're just like, the new limit's 10. We hate you and we don't care,
really?
and deal with it. And like they'll even give you problems if you get 10 sometimes. And so it's like,
Interesting.
bro.
That's annoying.
But anyways, what I was thinking is we live in the same like region. We
Yeah.
should start a wholesale like chat or like a like I can cold call anybody. Like my
Yeah.
background is in sales. And so
Yeah.
like I don't give a crap on the phone. Like I'll literally call anybody and propose anything. Like I
Man,
know I'd be good at that
there
part of
is so many. Like you would. I heard somebody say this the other day on YouTube. It's like if you would just open your eyes when you're driving down the road,
Oh yeah, sure.
they would literally be jumping out at you. You just got to pay attention,
Yeah.
especially. I don't know if you're familiar with like the Buford Highway areas of like,
Mm,
yeah, like there's just a whole bunch of wholesalers there, like just
sure.
sitting there. They're literally just sitting there.
Yeah.
So
Huh. Well, I'll continue to badger myself to get into wholesale eventually. I'll put it on my list again, even though it's already on there. So, are you doing any arbitrage, or you're just you're mainly wholesale?
no, so believe it or not, I am doing some online arbitrage. Yes.
Okay,
So luckily, and it's so funny because like I'm following something that I've heard you say, I've heard other people say, and it's actually so true and really able to cash out on it right now. Like literally, the cycle is happening. Last year, I was able to get my hands on um, some items that were extremely profitable for me, and then this year, I thought about them again, and I went back. I literally had checked like throughout the whole year to see if like that item was going to be on sale again, and
sure.
the whole year like they were just gone.
Yeah,
And then I checked back early this year, and they were up again and on
nice,
sale again. And I literally like picked like 250 of them up. I was like,
nice.
I got to send them in. I got to buy them. So
Yeah,
so yeah, I am doing some online arbitrage. Not as much as I, you know, potentially would like, and
sure.
that's some people have been asking me like, oh, like why do you want to get on online arbitrage? Like,
Yeah,
and my thing is like, okay, like my wholesale business is like, we're expanding and we're growing and stuff like that. But I feel like we have the capacity and the cash flow to handle more.
sure.
And so if I have the ability to, that's why I asked you about that leads list. If I have the ability to just buy some easy things that I can just click a couple clicks and get them
Sure.
to my house, and
That's online arbitrage. Yeah,
yeah, like why not do that? If I have that ability while scaling and growing my wholesale business, I don't have to
right.
be just wholesale. Like
Yeah, why not do both? Yeah, yeah. I I like OA. I'm still doing a good bit out in stores. I mean,
sure.
there's so many products that you just can go to Walgreens and it's just there, and then you can pick
Right.
it up, and you kind of have like you have that sale immediately almost, and then
Wow.
you can build that way, and so I wouldn't say I'm like reliant on it. Like I could be just OA, but I'm kind of spoiled by it a little bit because like that's just kind of how I've always done it, and that I have access to the information, so why not just go and probably small thinking on my side. I need to
No, but
uh,
I can relate to that because like last year, I had these like 3 or 4 different suppliers,
mhm,
and I was like just kind of like content, like
sure,
things are going great, like
yeah,
everything's good. And then like this year, it really dawned on me. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I not going out there and getting more
for sure,
suppliers?
sure,
Like, why am I not doing that?
right,
And I literally made it a goal to order, and this is like a crazy goal, um, to like get 2 new and order profitable items from 2 new wholesalers in January. Like that was a
okay,
goal.
yeah, nice,
Like even if it was like a test buys and stuff like that, like I wanted to get my foot in the door.
yeah,
Believe it or not, I ended up doing 4.
nice, that's
Yeah.
awesome,
So that was like, I was like, okay, like did I shoot myself short like as far as my goal? And I was like, no, like maybe like 2 is like good, because over the year that'd be 24.
yeah, sure,
So yeah,
huh.
you kind of get comfortable kind of with what you're doing.
Last month you found 4 new wholesalers and made test buys with them.
Yes.
That's incredible, man. That's like that's awesome. I'm I'm so impressed with that. Like walk me through that. Like so I'm gonna title this like real talk wholesale or something like that. Like
Yeah.
what did that look like? What like you woke up, you said, "All right, I got this on my to-do list. It's something I want to focus on." What is your next step? Like if you don't mind sharing anything that,
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
simple,
So
but
so it kind of goes back a little bit actually before January. And
okay.
it really goes back to like I've been lurking on Instagram and YouTube for a while now, since
Sure.
since 21. kind of
Okay.
just watching everybody. I've known everybody's
Are you
name.
screenshotting the names of the boxes on people's uh, their post when they're like, "Look at all my awesome boxes going out."
No, no.
I've done that. I didn't call them, but I've done that.
But so like I've been watching, I've been seeing everybody, and I've seen like the community that everybody has and kind of interactions and stuff like that. And
Sure.
so obviously all this is from my personal account. Not posting anything as far as my journey on my personal account.
Yeah.
And so then in December I was just like, I'm gonna, make this handle that you see on the screen, and I'm gonna just post, just post my stuff, just
Love it.
sales, just sharing stuff. I have
Yeah.
a lot of friends who know what I'm doing personally, and I'm sure they would want to see it too.
Yeah.
And so I made an account in December, and I literally just posted a video
Like 2 months ago.
2 months ago. Yeah,
Okay.
and I promise you, you're not gonna believe this. This is just crazy. I posted a video. I'm like, yo, like here's what I'm doing, all this stuff. And I had a wholesaler reach out to me.
Get out of here.
I promise.
That's
I
awesome.
promise. And at first you're skeptical because it's like, all right, he's reaching out to me. Who else is he reaching out to? And
Sure.
how profitable are these things?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's it right
Yeah.
there.
Go follow this guy right now.
Yeah.
Anybody that watches this video, go follow this guy. That's awesome.
And so he reached out to me, and that was like in late December. And so in January, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make an account with this guy. I'm gonna get a hold of his catalog. I'm gonna, see what's out there.
Sure.
And what's amazing about it, and you can tell from the start, if they're giving you a catalog within the first minute of talking to them, they're probably not good. There's kind of like some hoops and things you got to go through, certain things that they require in
Sure.
order to kind of get access to all that stuff. So the amount of time that it was taking to like get the actual account and get my hands on stuff, I was like, okay, this is a good thing.
Yeah. Sure.
But so like finding other suppliers, was kind of easy in a sense that, and I've heard, shout out Garrett, all out Amazon.
Oh man, freaking love that guy.
He actually puts it in a really good way. He says if you can qualify a product on Amazon and go back to where you can find it, then you have the perfect scenario because it's going to sell.
Yeah. Sure.
And so that's exactly what happened. I knew of a product that could sell, and then I went to go hunt.
For somebody who carries that in their catalog.
That's right.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So no longer am I saying, "Hey, hand me your catalog. I want to see what's profitable." I want
You're
to
saying, do you have Utz potato chips or whatever?
Here's a SKU 1, 2, 3. If you have it, I need 1,000 of them because I know it's gonna
Ah,
go. Because I know it's gonna go.
wow. That makes sense. Yeah, if I'm a distributor and there's some like pissant reseller that's like, "Hey man, I want to be a wholesaler. Let me have an account." I'm not as excited about that. But if they come to me and say, "Hey, here's $2,000. I'm looking for anything under this brand. Do you sell, XYZ?" I'm thinking, "Oh, wow, this is this is legit."
And your $2,000 is 14 grand.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot more money. It's a lot more money.
Sure, yeah.
But it's like you've gone through the process of already qualifying the product. The product's going to sell. Like
sure.
there's no doubt. So you feel really confident in what you're doing at that point. If
Yeah.
they can provide the goods and at the price, it's a go all day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Someone told me, think of yourself as like a gas station instead of as like a e-commerce reseller with a personal brand. Like think of yourself like just call and order it like you're, ordering a cheeseburger, or you're ordering 100. We need Monster for our store. Do you carry Monster? Like that. That makes sense.
So
wow,
I'll go back to what I was kind of going down, was like finding these suppliers and how really take action, and how Instagram has really kind of opened that door. So
Sure.
one that supplier reached out to me. Cool.
Okay.
Perfect. I opened an account, went through his catalog, saw a few items that I really liked, placed an order. Literally, I have already placed another order. Literally have the product sitting in my garage right now.
It's awesome.
It's going out probably tomorrow or Saturday. Another way was I identified a product that I knew that I wanted to sell. I went to go look for them, called them up, negotiated, got the stuff delivered to me the next week.
Wow.
The next one was actually KV Flips and I. We've been kind of really getting to know each other and really like bouncing things off of each other.
Sure.
And there was somebody who he had opened up a wholesale account, and he like pretty much just passed it on to me. Said, "Hey, check this out. Go do your research. There's some products here that we can find." And we did that. So yeah, it's been that simple decision to open up the Instagram account and really just start posting and just start connecting. It's like
Yeah.
a multitude of opportunities that have come up. Not only for me, but in exchange, I hope that others are gaining stuff from what my experiences.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. You talked about in the beginning, you're one of the big catalysts to get you started was you saw someone's TikTok video in Marshalls saying, "Look at this pair of underwear, I can sell it for whatever." Like that's what you're doing now. You're kind of inspiring other people, and it sounds like you've got a really good thing going, man. Like that's a really exciting business, recap. And so, if you're anything like me, you kind of you get a little dopamine rush, like you get a little bit of joy just out of some guy on Instagram says, "Oh, that's a good idea, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna check this out,"
Yeah,
like that looks cool.
and I think one of the things, and like this is something that I've always, because Evan and I talk we all day, every
Sure.
day, pretty much,
Yeah.
and we just bounce stuff of each other. And I always tell him is like, if you're winning, I want to be such a close friend to you that I feel like I'm winning.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And if I'm winning, I want you to be happy that I'm winning. And guess
Yeah.
what? We're both going to get the bag together, and we're going to be way better than. So, there's a lot of, I feel in this space, there's a lot of like people trying to compete, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
100%.
and I think that is super easy to get caught up into.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, maybe it's a maturity thing. I'm 30 years old, so I'm about to be 31.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So, I'm here to provide a better life for my family. That's really what it's about.
Yeah.
Um, thankfully, this has given us a lot of opportunity.
Sure.
One of the things that I really made it a point to do, and thankfully, I have the luxury to do so. In 22, I literally reinvested everything back
That's
in.
amazing. Yeah.
Um,
Too many people quit their jobs so fast.
well, yeah,
Or
I
try
was
to
I
anyways.
was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Oh, like if this goes well, like you're gonna quit your job." I'm like, no. They're like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Because if this goes well while having a job, why do I need to quit my job?"
Yeah, sure.
And so, I've worked really hard to get where I'm at as far as like my personal job.
Yeah.
I work in accounting and finance.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Um, and so like, I've got years of college in there,
Sure.
but it it,
You got
it,
a
it
career.
will
You got a whole thing going.
it
Yeah.
would take a lot for me to just leave. And
Sure.
really the main purpose of doing the whole Amazon thing and trying to do that is obviously to provide better life for my family. My wife's a teacher. Um, so I want her to stay home with the kids and stuff like that. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of the plan.
That's an awesome story, man. And I can't wait to check in 5 years and see how it's going, because all of those goals are totally attainable. And
Yeah,
like you're doing all the right things. Like that's exciting.
sure.
Uh, let me ask you this. So one of my passion projects, or my something I think a lot about is lower income people. Think just got out of prison, or just getting off of drugs, or a single mother just on food stamps, lower income, probably disadvantaged, has some real challenges financially. I want to help those people with entrepreneurship. Like I want to help those people really grow with the things I've learned. Like I know some things that could help them out. So what advice would you give somebody, say maybe like a 22-year-old kid, history, has trouble with the law, or like in the past has had that, and like trying to restart their life, but they're broke and they're, say they have a job already. So I've already
Yeah,
told them to get a job. But past that, what advice would you give them if they're trying to get into
sure.
reselling, wholesale, arbitrage, whatever?
Yeah, so I actually thought about this because I've seen that you've asked this before and kind of formulate my answer. And I wasn't able to formulate, so I'm just going to answer on the spot.
Okay.
Um, but I would say that if you've gone through all those things, that's probably one of the hardest points in your life,
Sure.
right? So anything after that is going to be relatively easy compared to that.
Sure.
Let's say you're a drug addict and you're recovering and you're at this point. I'd say that getting through that addiction is harder than starting this business.
Sure.
Um, and then the second thing I would say is that you we can be amazed by everything that people are doing on Instagram and on YouTube and Twitter and blah blah blah. And that's great. But under that, there is a lot of hard work, right? Some of it is real, some of it is not. Um, just because you sell $400,000 a month doesn't mean you made anything.
Right. Yeah.
Show me your net income, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
So I would really say that to get started, know that it's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to take a lot of work. Um, and you've already been through a lot of things, and this is really a piece of cake. Um, and you just have to put one foot in front of the other, and you're going to make mistakes. Um, I try to live or try to do something in my business that I think is very practical. Um, and that is that I try to only make the same mistake once. Um,
That's smart.
I know I'm going to make mistakes.
Sure.
I can pinpoint the mistakes and I can pinpoint the exact moment and the exact decision that I made that led me to the mistake. So I think once you realize that, that'll kind of open the doors for you to really just improve little by little. Um, Rome wasn't built overnight,
Sure.
and neither is your Amazon business.
Yeah. No,
So,
that's 100%. Yeah.
but nothing takes away from the fact that what this person has been through in their life hasn't been hard. And if you've been through that, and if you've come to the realization that you want to do something about your life and you want to make a better, life for yourself and your family, I think that in of itself is a tremendous start.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the light, the light. They finally saw the light,
Right.
and then once you see the light, you can, you don't know everything that you need to do, but if you just take the first step, it'll kind of just lead you down the path that you need to be.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's great advice. I like that. I'm gonna try to clip that for a short form thing. Is Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is your Amazon business. And that is so true. And people don't see the ups and downs, especially like the whole credit thing. That I think I made like 6 reels back to back about irresponsible credit use because I had one consultant call with somebody,
Yeah.
and they said to me, I just put everything on a credit card and then it didn't sell, and now I'm paying interest on it every month. And I was like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
we can't be telling these people to just throw it on a credit card. Like that's insane. Like
I can
that's
I can 100% say, and if anybody wanted to audit my books, they could. I spent over probably $500,000 in 22,
nice.
and I paid, I think, like $350 worth of interest. And it was literally just only due to like the timing. It wasn't really like I didn't have the funds or anything like that. Like
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
the funds were there.
Yeah.
So definitely agree with that. Um, there's probably a lot of people out there who are screaming from the rooftops, "Don't pay on your credit card if you don't have the money."
Right.
Um, but it's it's a tough business. It's not easy. Um,
Right.
but if you're smart and you take your time, you can build something really good.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm not against credit card. I think use them. I just like it's got to be something that people hear, is especially like newer, ambitious sellers. Like they go out there and they're just like, yeah, nothing can go wrong. It's like, yeah, it can. Like
Right.
you're stacking risk on top of risk, and anytime you're doing that, like if something goes wrong, the whole house of cards fall and can.
So you bring up a good point actually, and we didn't get to talk about this, but we can now. So my brother, he's older than me, has been seeing what I've been doing with Amazon. He did not do Amazon before. And the reason why he knows what I'm been doing is because like all of my prep work that I do is in house. We do it here.
Nice. Okay.
And I actually hired my niece and my nephew to do it. So they've been doing all my prep,
That's
which,
awesome. Yeah.
which is great because they make money. Less time I have to, really do it all myself.
Yep.
So he's been seeing what I've been doing. Well, in December, he reached out to me and he was like, "Yo, like, what's going on with this Amazon thing? Like, you're killing it. Like,
Right.
is there enough room for me, out there?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. There's definitely room." And he's like, "Oh, like, how do you think I should start? Should I do like an LLC? Should I get a business credit card? Like, what should I do?" And all these things, and like, 0 to 100 really quick. And I said yes to all of those. And the credit card thing, I said, whatever you think you have as far as like spending power on the credit card, you have to make sure that you have the money. If you don't have the money, then I would tell you no.
Yeah.
And I said, and he's like, well, yeah, I have the money, and I believe him. He has the money, whatever, that's fine. But at the end of the day, if you put yourself in this hole, you're gonna be crying.
They will eat you alive. And
And
wow.
I've been helping him and I've been kind of shooting him stuff, and it's so funny because at the end of every call, he says, like, "What would my coach do?" He refers to me as his coach. Just playing
Yeah,
around.
that's awesome.
And I said, "Hey, man, you got to spend at your own risk." He
Yep.
has Keepa, he has all those tools that tell him kind of what's going on. He's an analytical person. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot you this lead. I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. I'm willing. I'm a little bit more risky. I'll just
Sure.
say it. I'm more risky at this point. Um, I said, but you're starting off, so like, you can't go in 100 deep on this product. Like, it's not. You should not do that. And if you are, like, hey man, don't
Yeah.
look at me.
I didn't say to do it.
I
Yeah.
can't tell you anything.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's been going really good for him. So it's been good to see like people taking action.
Yeah. That's awesome. You're helping them and getting it going. Like, hey, two brothers that are rich from Amazon is better than one brother
Yeah.
that's rich from Amazon.
Well,
So
it's so funny because like he's going through right now what I experienced a year ago or
yeah.
back in 21, literally sending me screenshots like, "Hey man, I got a sale. Like, look." I'm like,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I
That's
don't want to
awesome.
send. I don't want to send him my screenshot of the day.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, really? So,
Yeah. Okay, I gotta ask. So you're a Georgia fan, huh?
um, not necessarily, to be honest with you. I
Oh,
grew up in
nice.
I grew up in Rhode Island,
Okay.
so like New England Patriots, like NFL is like really what we do.
Sure.
Um, in the Northeast, college football is not that popular
Sure.
as it is down here in the South. Um, so yeah, I root for Georgia just because I live in Georgia.
Yeah.
But like Bulldogs, like
Yeah. Sure.
not really, like
Yeah.
I only like them because they're here.
Yeah. My wife and I, we don't give a crap about sports at all. Like
No,
literally couldn't care. But as you know, in the South, it's very, like that's what people talk about. Like that's all people talk about, if they're not, in business or whatever. But we went to Bible college, probably our second or third year of marriage or something,
okay, right,
and literally didn't care at all about sports, but we were in Alabama. So I've
okay,
lived 29 of my 30 years has been living in Georgia, and I was in Alabama for 1 year, and we became Alabama fans. So
nice,
so you'll see me in my Alabama t-shirt, and I don't even watch the games or anything, but it's
yeah,
fun to see all my friends at the gym and different places that are all Bulldog fans, and then
sure.
they're like, well, why are you wearing an Alabama shirt?
That's
It's
so funny.
like
I went
so.
to college in Alabama.
Oh,
There you
did you?
go.
Oh, nice.
No,
Cool.
you. I'm
Oh,
saying
oh
you
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
respond with that.
yeah, yeah,
Not that you went
yeah.
to Alabama. You just say, I went to college in Alabama.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I spent, 11 months there, man.
Yeah,
That's my it's my alma mater.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
So, well, man, hey, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks for having me, man.
I really enjoyed hearing your story, and maybe this is the year that I get serious about wholesale and start looking
You
into
you should one if I could give you some advice,
sure.
um I would say that you just do some Google searches and go down the wandering path of wholesale.
What'd you say? Buford Highway? Is that what you said?
Yeah, just like Buford Highway.
Okay.
I'll give you another tip, and I don't know when you're gonna post this, but this is a cool little tip.
Okay.
So ASD is going on at the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
All right. You don't even have to go to ASD. ASD gives you the list of all the distributors that are going.
Okay.
So you could get creative and get the list
Cold call 'em.
and call them up.
Yeah, sure. Huh.
Oh,
Funny story. I went to ASD like 2 years ago or something.
really?
Uh, I had no business being at an ASD at that point, but I went and my good friend called me Coop. That's his Instagram handle. That's not his real name. We went together, and his family basically quit Amazon because they found a supplier there for popcorn, and now they have a popcorn company. And
Wow.
they have a little. I don't know if you know where Rome, Georgia is, but they've
Yeah.
opened a shop, and they have a full blown business because they found one supplier, and that they don't
Wow.
even. I think they're trying to get it up on Amazon. They sell on Walmart.com. Like they have their
Yeah. Store.
private label branded popcorn, and they're freaking killing it.
Wow.
Google the margins on popcorn; it'll blow your mind.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
insane. Like they're getting it for free almost, and
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't have said that, but I mean they're killing it, and
Yeah.
so
That's awesome.
I joke with them. It's like I'm just gonna open another popcorn
Yeah.
business right down the road, and but
Funny.
okay, thank you for the advice. I will.
So yeah, that's something that you could do that's going to be practical. Like for example, I'm going to ASD at the end of the month.
Okay, nice,
Um, I'll be flying out there with my sister. She's going to be helping me out.
exciting.
Um, and I already have reached out to and opened and ordered and sold items from wholesalers who are going to be at ASD.
That's exciting. Okay.
Yeah. So
Huh,
kind of like a little nugget there. Obviously in person is best, right? But
sure.
getting a list is better than no list. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Are you going to the Miami conference thing?
I am not.
Okay.
I thought about going, but I got a 2-month old,
Oh yeah, sure.
so a lot of people don't understand that, and that's okay. They don't have kids.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
the other one's like, "Oh, why can't you do both?" Like,
Sure.
do you have any kids? No, no. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be gone. It was kind of like a decision. It was like
Sure.
ASD or Miami.
Yep.
And although Miami would be great networking with people,
Yeah.
there are going to be no distributors and wholesalers there.
Yep.
So that's what I'm after. That's really the best time for
Sure.
me.
Yeah. That makes
Um,
sense.
so I'm going out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at the first year of that conference, and last year I had something come up with my brother and I couldn't go, and then this year my wife is literally 9 months pregnant, and so
Yeah.
like there's just no way we're leaving from like right here until
Yeah.
we have a baby.
You
And
can't
so
do that. Yeah.
next year I'll be there, hopefully. I mean, I got the chance to get in a room with some guys that were just so far ahead of me, and
Yeah.
like we literally just sat there and just talked, and it was worth every dollar of the whole thing. Like
Right.
some one of the things, like I'm using in my business every single day, that I learned in one of these back room, just kind of just shooting the
Yeah.
crap. Everybody's
Yeah.
drinking and, like,
Yeah.
just talking about, just talking shop. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I'll definitely try to go next year, but I think this year it was kind of like, kind of my goals and expanding was kind of my top priority. And so I was like, okay, I got to go to ASD.
yeah, that's
And there's
awesome.
going to be networking there too with a whole bunch of sellers too.
Of
So,
course. Yeah. Yeah. Well, good luck on it, man. I hope
yeah.
hope you kill it. And, by the way, you mentioned a church plan or something. Was that a
Yeah.
long time ago? I mean, are you involved in, church stuff, missions or whatnot? Or
Yeah. So my parents actually um been in like ministry for a while now.
okay,
Ever since when I was a little kid, back in Rhode Island. And then we moved to Georgia and in 2004 and they planted a church here.
okay,
So we've been always super involved with that and have always done like, some mission trips in Central America and stuff like that.
that's
Um,
insane. That's
yeah.
crazy. Okay, so you've heard my mission statement, which is I want to build a network of businesses and individuals that supports a network of orphanages and nonprofits
Yeah.
that are really making a difference. The first iteration of that before I changed it was I want to build a network of individuals and businesses that support a network of orphanages in Central America.
Oh.
And the reason for that is the I got a prophetic word in a church service when I was like, I mean, I was young and like I was poor, like I was from a real poor background, and business was not on my mind at all.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna be poor forever and just do missions and just that was as far as I had gotten.
Right.
And this guy came and prophesied to me, and he said, "You're gonna see." He said, "You're gonna see 17 steps ahead in business, and you're gonna I have it written down somewhere. You're gonna do well in the business world, basically." And then he said, "You're gonna open state of the art orphanages in Central America." And he named three countries, and
Wow.
that's it's crazy. Hearing
Yeah.
when you said that earlier, it's like, well, that's super weird. That's it's a
Yeah.
crazy.
How is that going? How what like have you started anything with that? How talk about that?
Yeah, we have a couple of nonprofits that we, support, and
Mm.
up to this point it's been building businesses and building the network, and I'm just kind of waiting to see what, we don't have an active role. I was on staff at a church for a little while,
Mm.
like 2 years or something, but other than that, we've not been in any active role for any nonprofit other than donor, giving money. And so I just kind of think when the right, when there will be something that just makes sense, and it's it's like it's an obvious. I think it'll be an obvious thing, when the time's right. So
So this is a small world, right? So in during COVID, my parents, their church kind of like dwindled down and ended up like pretty much closing down.
oh wow, okay,
Um, and then which was a good decision, I would say.
sure,
And we asked them like, okay, like what are you guys gonna do now? You know, as far as like ministry wise, because they've always been really active in it.
sure,
And they were like, well, we we have partnerships with some like orphanages that we can support
sure.
and like really take an active role, you know, in helping them. And one of the
Where at?
places,
Where?
yeah, one of the places that they've done it, and they just got back yesterday from there.
Get out of here.
Now they didn't go to see the orphanage specifically, but I'm sure they spent time with those people.
Sure.
Um, Colombia.
Okay.
So they've been helping out. Even like a couple months ago, my mom reached out to me and my siblings, like, hey, like they're taking donations. They're doing like a raffle thing, and we just like all donated money and stuff like that. So it's kind of a small world. You're saying all this.
Yeah, that's spooky. That's that's awesome. Yeah, when I've literally never talked to you other than like a couple in passing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
another thing that I did in 2013, and it's kind of really cool. I think if they're still around when my son is at an age that is appropriate, in 2013 I was part of a school or a part of a organization. I went on like this trip with them, where they're building like bottle schools. So essentially, what they do is they approach a community and they say, "Hey, this obviously underserved community, very povertish community," and they say, "Hey, like you guys don't have anything here. Like we want to help you guys, but instead of helping you like 100%, we want you guys to take an active role as well." And so what they do is they build these schools out of like recycled bottles. So like think about like a 12-ounce like Mountain Dew bottle. What they charge the community to do is to fill these bottles up with trash, and they seal them, and then they build out of concrete, like just like literally just like the frame of the school,
Mhm.
and they fill the wall and insulation with all these bottles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they call them like bottle schools. Like, so I did that in 2013, and that was like, super humbling and super a great experience because these
Sure,
kids don't have anything. Like the school that you're building, that you're helping them build, is pretty much all they have.
sure. Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's insane, man. That's crazy, yeah.
I think if people, um, like really pause for a second, and like people, especially in like the last couple years, like really hating on the America and like life here and stuff like that. I'm like, if you
Sure.
just like went and you just like close your eyes for a second and just like imagine your life, even do a little Google search, a little YouTube,
Yeah.
you would realize how lucky and how blessed we are
Oh, yeah.
for just like the little things that we can do.
Yeah, preach, man. I totally agree.
Even having an Amazon business.
Having an Amazon business, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, most people out there have to go through hoops and holes to even like open a business.
yeah.
You have to get
Oh, yeah.
approved by the federal government. They do this and that, and stuff
Bribes
crazy.
and all kind of crazy stuff, yeah. Yep.
So
That's awesome, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for telling your story, and it was nice to meet you. I feel like I don't have the opportunity to like this is an excuse to
yeah,
meet cool people and just kind of chat and talk about your
chop it up.
business. What in 5 years, what's your goal? Like real quick, like where do you want to take this thing? You obviously you have a successful career going and whatnot, but with your part time and reinvesting profits, like what does it look like?
Yeah. So I'll give you like my 1, 3, 5.
Okay.
My one is my wife to stay home.
Okay.
So that's gonna happen within this year. No problem.
That's exciting, man. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's super
Sweet.
excited about that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be life changing for her to stay home with our kids.
Yeah.
That's number one. 3 years, her continue to stay home and reinvest everything that I make into real estate.
Okay.
And then 5 years, I would say my wife continue to stay home, more real estate, and not have a sum of wealth for my kids that is like astronomical, but have enough to where when they get to a certain age, that if they decide to go to college, that I'm able to provide that for them. And then, and or if they don't want to go to college, that I'm able to, if they want to start their own business, then I'm able to really help jumpstart that.
Sure.
Um, so that'll take a lot of hard work. Um, to take this full time, that's never really, unless I'm making millions of dollars. Obviously, yes.
Sure.
Um, right, but that's not necessarily the goal. Um, because I think I can take it to a certain point with kind of my setup now.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I'm at that point yet. So I'm just gonna keep pushing until I'm at that point.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do out of your own house, right?
Sure.
So yeah, those are kind of my things. Like those are kind of my whys. I could be buying a lot more things, or you know, buying physical things for myself and stuff with all the money that I'm making from it.
Sure.
But and as you know, this like that stuff gets old. It's
Hmm.
used. It gets boring. Have my wife stay home, having a couple properties, real estate properties. That's to me that's like a perfect outcome of all of this.
Yeah. That's exciting, man. I love those goals. I love hearing that. That's refreshing.
Yeah.
Uh, totally doable, man. You got all. I mean, you got everything like lined up perfectly. So
It's hard. It's hard in the sense like, you like right now, like what time is it? 9:52. I'm gonna go prep up some stuff. I'll probably be
yep.
out there for 2 hours. I'm gonna
Nice. Yep. Yeah.
and I enjoy
So, yeah.
I enjoy that stuff. I don't mind it. I throw on some music, I throw on the TV, and I just prep away, and every bag and every seal that I, pull apart, I'm like, all right, like this is a little penny into the little, the big jar that's going to be Phil one day. So
Yeah, that's
super
powerful.
enjoyable.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I'll let you get to it. Thank you so much again. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
it. And I'm gonna do a little blurb at the end here, and then let's see. How do I do this? Stay right there. I'll be right on with you.
Sure.
All right. Thank you for watching episode number 9 of Cody's business show. That was awesome. ElCheleSells on Instagram, and he's gonna be putting out content talking about his story, talking about the evolution of his business. So yeah, that's all I got for you today. All right. Goodbye.